Hey, I'm Mike.
And I'm Kevin.
And this is 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger, the podcast where we take a long, hard look at some of your favorite action movies from the era of Arnold.
Schwarzenegger is the icon of the genre, and we're taking a deep dive into some of these 80s and 90s cult action movies and breaking them all the way down. Okay, we're back with the second half of our special episode on Escape from New York. We're picking up where Snake just had a narrow escape from the crazies, and he's hopped into Ernest Borgnine's cab.
Yeah.
And Ernest has got this like big band music bumping from the cassette player.
Yeah, it's like the top 40, like the Dick, what's his name? Dick Clark top 40 theme music. It's kind of...
So, man, Borgnine's real chatty. He says he's been driving this cab in New York for 30 years.
Yeah.
Which means
he's just a crazy
he's
person.
been here since before this was a prison.
No, I think he's...
And he just never left.
No, I think he's just a crazy person.
You think he is a prisoner, or
Yeah,
you think he's stayed here?
I think he's a prisoner, and I think he's probably crazy. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he just decided to stay in
I
New
think
York
he
City.
stayed in New York because he didn't want to leave the city. He didn't want to, and he's just kept his cab. That's my theory.
So I'm sure that there are people that stayed in New York.
I'm not...
After but wouldn't you think that they had like a mandatory evacuation?
You would think so, but that's my theory, is that this guy loved it so much he wanted to stay.
And so
that's
he
my
was,
guess.
Convinced to stay when they were like, okay, we're gonna turn all of
It's going to be nothing but murderers and rapists.
Atlanta into a giant, so you can leave now.
Yeah.
So let's say he was.
That's exactly what I think happened.
If that's the case,
he is crazy.
He's still a crazy.
Yeah, that's
person.
what I mean. He's crazy.
So he's crazy either way.
So he's telling him, "Oh, I know, Snake. The Duke has the president.
Mm-hmm.
The Duke is A number one."
Yeah.
I thought that was the Duke character is kind of like Lopan because everyone's talking about him and knows of his legend even before we really meet him.
Yeah.
And if you want to be really take it to the next level, when we actually meet the Duke personally himself doesn't do much. Like, he's not like the most formidable villain that they run into or anything like that. He's just the guy in charge.
I wonder if that's due to the person that played him not being a great actor at that point in his career.
I thought his performance was good, though. We're talking about Isaac Hayes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just saying, I don't think maybe Isaac Hayes was like a great... I thought maybe this was Isaac Hayes' first role, but he had done a couple other things before this.
Okay.
But obviously he's best known at that point for doing Shaft, the music for Shaft. But I thought maybe they were just like, well, let's get Isaac Hayes in here and he'll play that character, but he didn't really have to do anything. He didn't really have to act. He's just going to be more of a presence.
He looked very cool.
Yeah, he just looked cool. So I think that's why he was kind of maybe limited in what he did.
So Cabby's like, I don't even know why, but he takes Snake to meet Brain, a character called the Brain, because he'd know what to do? Or is that...
Because Snake works, because the Brain works with the Duke, so... The cabbie knew that.
Okay.
So he's like, well, if you want to meet the Duke, then you have to meet the Brain in order to meet the Duke. You know?
Okay. So he brings him to him, and there's a beautiful woman opens the door who I thought was like a Sigourney Weaver clone. I didn't really recognize her.
Well, it's Adrienne Barbeau. So she was a famous sex symbol of the time.
In her day.
80s.
Okay.
Yeah, she was in Swamp Thing. And if you... Yeah, just check out Swamp Thing. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
She was also married to John Carpenter at the time, too. So there's a lot of, nepotism in this movie.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, so yeah, that's where he meets the Brain. And
so she takes him in. They go down to the basement of an old library, which I'm pretty sure from the outside it's supposed to be the 42nd Street Library in New York, the famous one from Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
They're pumping oil down in the basement. There's like an oil derrick.
The Brain is the brain of the Duke's operation, so he makes stuff for him. He's probably got the electricity working.
Yeah, he's refining gas down there for him.
He's the one that makes gas for him. I thought it was weird that he was making gas in the middle of this library. Like, that's the only place they could find
There's
gas.
no way there's oil underneath Manhattan.
Or that they could find it. But yeah, that's where he meets Brain and Adrienne Barbeau. Her character's name is Maggie. But they are basically saying that in order to meet I think he wants him to meet the Duke. It's weird because Brain is willing to take Snake there, but
Brain and Snake have a history.
Yeah, they have this history, but
Snake, he pops in there and he recognizes the Brain. It's played by Harry Dean Stanton, who's a great actor. Mm-hmm. He's always good in the little bit roles that he plays, but it seems like the Brain has betrayed Snake at some point in the past. We're not really sure how, what circumstances, whatever, but he's like, got a gun to his head basically, and he's like saying, "You got to get me to the Duke's hangout, and I'm gonna get the president, and I got a way out of here." And Snake's the Brain is sort of like, "Well, if you take us with you out of here, then we'll help you."
That's what it is.
But if he catches us together, like, he's gonna kill all of us. Basically, he's saying, "All right, well, let's go." They pop out as the Duke's like motorcade is sort of rolling up, and they run and hide, right? But the Duke's car is like
the most pimped out rod.
Dude, he's got chandeliers mounted on the hood of it, like headlights.
He literally has chandeliers, and I think that says a lot about the society because I guess the Duke, he probably just raided some house or some building. And he just like, I like those chandeliers.
Why not? That's very very pimp or whatever. Yeah. But he's also got an awesome theme song, another little John Carpenter tune that's like a funk song almost. But like the creepy little guy from earlier, he's riding in the car with Isaac Hayes. And Brain says, "Oh, the Duke's here because I was helping him to make a map of the bridge because we were going to try to all escape." Now that he had the president, like, I was making a map of where the mines are on the bridge or something like that, right? And he's like, "But if he finds us together, he's going to kill us all." And Snake says, "Well, look, Duke's not at his headquarters right now because we know he's out. Like, let's get over there and we can break in, get the president, and get out of there before he gets back," which seems like a good idea. They steal a car and they hop in. They're driving off. They run up Broadway, which is like got some sort of riot almost going on in the street.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting because I think he was trying to make another political statement about Broadway, like. Because when I think of Broadway, I think of it being very theatrical, like very artistic. But
in that day, that was like this, like Times Square was the seediest area of the whole city.
Yeah, there were a lot of like X-rated,
it was like, porn theaters and strip clubs and stuff. So even in 81, even up to like I think early 2000s, like Times Square was real nasty.
Which ironically, I think Disney came in and got rid of a bunch of that stuff and made it family friendly again. But so they drive down Broadway and they're just getting attacked by the mob.
They're like throwing rocks and Molotov cocktails and whatnot at them.
And then so he basically escapes out of that.
They smash through like a roadblock and get away. They roll up on the Duke's headquarters, which is like an abandoned train, and I think they're seeing across whatever through the alley, like the Duke's cars are coming back.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, but we're ahead of them. Like, you got probably 5 minutes to get in. He's in this train car. You got 5 minutes to get in and get him and get out, and we can escape."
I think that says a lot about. I think it is very telling that this movie wasn't actually filmed. Didn't you say that it was filmed in like St. Louis or something?
Yeah, we looked it up because we're like, where are they finding these big abandoned areas of the city? It can't be New York. And it was St. Louis.
But if this movie was really filmed in New York City, there's no way they would have used a train. They would have used the subway. Don't you think, for that same scene? Like,
I think you're right. It was weird there was an above ground train.
Yeah, it would just make more sense to use a subway because that's more... when I think of New York, that's what I think of, the subway, you know.
Yeah.
So
it's a good call.
Yeah. So they break in and Snake Plissken goes kind of like all hero.
He takes a couple guys out.
Yeah. Like he kills one guy like really cool. Like he almost like in Big Trouble in Little China.
Exactly. Lopan style.
Like pulls a knife out of somewhere and like
he flings it right in his forehead.
Right in his head. And the guy is like the most dramatic death scene of all time.
And that guy shot Snake in the leg with an arrow. So now Snake's sort of hobbled. But the president's there and he really is missing a finger.
Yeah.
I think we both assumed when he presented the finger with the ring that it was probably someone else's finger. I thought the same thing.
I totally thought that
it's like a Big Lebowski move where they cut it off somebody else.
Yeah.
But okay, they had really cut the president's finger off. But Snake gets him and they pop out. And then there's a bunch of guys like waiting for him when they come out.
Immediately recaptured. And this is where Snake meets the Duke like face to face finally.
Now, do you think that Brain double crossed him?
No, I think Brain is really smart and knows how to manipulate the situation. So he didn't necessarily double cross him. Like he definitely not on purpose.
Yeah.
And I think he really believed in Snake's mission. And was like, and he knew that Snake was the kind of person that could get him out of New York City.
Okay.
So Brain being who he is, I'm surprised he wasn't smart enough to figure out a way to get off the island already.
Yeah.
But you know,
build a submarine or something.
Yeah, but that's neither here nor there.
So like you said, we meet the Duke. He's like the coolest looking dude.
Yeah.
Right? He's got the shaved head and the maybe goatee or the beard or something like that. Mm-hmm. But he's a very cool guy, sunglasses at night and all that, you know. He seemed to be the only guy who did not know who Snake was already. He's like, who is this guy?
He didn't recognize him immediately.
Yeah.
But then I think
they told him he's Snake Plissken. He's like, I've heard of you. I thought you were dead.
You know, committing to that joke that he had to film.
So they got like the president chained up, and he's like, the Duke is like doing target practice, like shooting at him and making him scream out like, "You're the Duke of New York. You're A#1," and like taking pot shots at him. Yeah, basically. Yeah. And like the little creepy guy is there and he's like cackling. Yeah. You said it was like Jabba the Hutt's little guy.
Yeah, I forget what that.
You know, Salacious Crumb.
Yeah, that little creature that sits in like Jabba the Hutt's tail.
He is cackling. Yeah,
it was the first thing I thought of.
So it's exactly like that. And they got Snake chained up in the other room, and he's got like a big ass snake tattoo on his belly, which I had forgotten about that.
Which they obviously did with like black magic.
Yeah, it just looked like a question mark almost. It was weird. It was like a cobra.
It's very strange. Duke, I guess he sends out a memo to the Lee Van Cleef character, and he's like, meet us at this certain point. They show up, and there's a helicopter there, and it has like the demands of the Duke.
Yeah, it was in the president's briefcase.
Yeah, it's in the president, so he knows that they have.
So they got the briefcase off him. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
so it was like a sign.
Basically, the Duke is like, I want all the prisoners of New York City released in exchange for the president.
Yeah,
and
but it was like he was saying something about like, we'll do it tomorrow, which was already too late for what they needed him for the summit.
I forget what it was.
Like, yeah, so it was kind of like, I don't think Lee Van Cleef and them were inclined to go along with that because it was already going to be too late.
Mm-hmm. It was past like the due time that they needed to like go to the summit.
But they bring Snake out, who's limping along still, and they're like throw him into a ring, like a cage match. And then they bring out this massive dude who's like a famous wrestler.
Yeah. So this guy, his name is Ox Baker. And I was looking up his like build weight. This dude was like 6'5", 340.
Yeah, he was huge.
He didn't look that big. I don't know if this was like his later years or something like this, but he didn't look that big in the ring compared to Kurt Russell. And I don't know how big Kurt Russell is, but he's a Hollywood actor, so I imagine he's like 5'6", for real. You know, like a Tom Cruise, like he's really short.
Yeah.
But they did like all these wide shots of that, and he like Kurt Russell was kind of like not the same size, but he wasn't like dominated by this guy's size.
This dude was easily like 150 pounds heavier than Kurt Russell. He was like a big guy.
But if you say 6'5", 340...
Kurt Russell could be tall, I guess.
He could be. I don't know Kurt Russell's size. Yeah.
I mean, these wrestlers exaggerate their height, too.
Yeah, I guess.
But at any rate, it seems like they're going to be doing a fight to the death, right?
Yeah.
Like they throw him in there, they give him a couple of baseball bats, and they send them at each other.
It's very old school, very gladiator.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a crowd watching. Like, this is their amusement.
Yeah.
Brain and Maggie sort of con their way past the little creepy guy who's, like, guarding the president.
Yeah.
And he's wearing Ernest Borgnine's hat, the cabbie hat, which is relevant because they ask him, where'd you get cabbie's hat from? And he said, I traded him something for it.
Yeah.
And we saw him earlier pocket the cassette tape.
The Frank Doubleday character.
Yeah.
I think his name is Romero.
So I think we're supposed to deduce that he maybe traded the tape because we saw earlier Cabby has a tape deck in his car.
It's such a weird, like, again, this is one of those, like, just really convenient things that happen in this movie. Like, we're not hating a movie. We obviously love it, or we won't be talking about it.
I guess if you had a cassette tape but nothing to play it on, it's kind of useless to you. But maybe if you know this guy's got a cassette tape, you can trade him.
But for a hat?
I don't know.
There's got to be more valuable stuff.
That was like the old school cabbie hat, like a yellow leather or something almost.
I don't know. It's like, here, give me this.
At any rate,
this hat, and I'll take this most valuable tape that's on the. Like, they knew, like, that's why he even took the tape when he saw it fall out of the president's briefcase.
He knew it must be important.
He knew it was important, so why would he trade it for like a cabbie's hat?
Well, like, if you think of movies like Waterworld or whatever, where everything is something that you could have value in the future when it's scarce.
No, I understand that part, I guess, but
it's just like, oh my gosh, this is so rare. It
like
must have value.
If it wasn't that big a deal, if he was like, I'll just trade it for a hat, why don't you just leave it on the ground?
So the tape is this movie's version of Miao Yin. It's like the MacGuffin.
Yeah.
It's getting moved around. We're trying to find out who's got it.
Yeah, but it also has a lot more power.
It's very rare, so it's valuable. I don't know. But they tricked their way past that guy, and they got the president shackled to like the radiator or whatever, the long blonde wig on.
Yeah, they're definitely messing with the president, like psychologically. Which comes back at the end to haunt the Duke.
You know that as a president, especially, you're not used to taking any crap from anybody, so this would probably trigger you. But like, props to Pleasance for just going with it. They're like, we're gonna put you in this wig. I feel like he might have even had lipstick on, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they like get in there. Maggie shoots the guards, right, and Brain stabs the little guy in the gut.
Yeah. Maggie, I mean, Maggie is kind of the Brain's. Not only is she just his lover, but she's also his bodyguard.
And she's like muscle.
Yeah, like I think that they even mentioned that the Duke gave Maggie to the Brain is like
to keep him happy.
Yeah, to keep him happy because of all the stuff that he does for the
so
Duke.
Nasty if you think about it.
Well,
because she seemed to legit like him though.
But yeah, she was really in love with him.
Okay. So they cut back to Snake battling the big guy, and Snake's getting his ass kicked, basically. Then they upgrade the weapons to like these bats with nails in them.
Yeah, and I think they give him like a garbage can lid.
Like a shield. Yeah. It's all very like New York street fight kind of feel or whatever. But
the way it kind of plays is that Snake sees on like the ring announcer, not the ring announcer, but the bell announcer.
Yeah.
He looks over the side and he sees that the bell announcer has like the tracker on his hand, and he also notices that Ox has Snake's timer on his countdown on his, and so he knows what time that Snake needs to be out of there. And then he's like, "Oh, now I have something to fight for." So he kind of pulls out his best war hero fighting style. He like rolls up under the his name is Slag. He rolls up under Slag and he hits him in the stomach with the nail studded. Yeah, that's kind of, and then he hits him in the back of the head and kills him.
It sticks in his head.
Yeah, it's like one of those scenes that will always stick with me because I saw it as a kid. You know,
you can like feel it, the sound and everything when he hits him.
The sound is so good because like it's really like thud, like kind of like metal on. It sounds like metal on bone.
And the crowd goes quiet because they were not expecting this, as these things happen in these movies.
It's like 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. Like
and then when it's the big upset, the crowd's like, wait a second, we've never seen this guy lose before.
Well, it's a little weird because then the crowd starts pulling for
they start chanting Snake, right?
So at that point, would they have left him alone? Like, would he still have been in danger?
The Duke was not going to let him go.
The Duke didn't really do anything, though. The Duke didn't stand up and immediately say, hey, everybody calm down. We know what happened, but this still is an enemy of the state or the enemy to us.
Well, the Duke was probably surprised.
Yeah.
But then some dude runs in and is like, Brain took the president, right? And then everyone runs out. So it sort of bailed us out of that, having to figure out what was going to come next.
So he didn't have time to like figure out what to do with
so
Snake.
Snake grabbed the little tracker off the guy's wrist and he sends a message to back home that I guess gives the message that he's still alive, like that maybe there's still a chance they're gonna, because I think Lee Van Cleef and them were getting ready to just run an all-out assault on the city to try to get him. So he's like, well, wait a second, this is our best chance still, is to let Snake see if he can get this thing done. So Snake makes his way back to World Trade Center and up to the roof really quickly. This all happens.
Is this not another one of those times where the cabbie just conveniently shows up?
I don't think the cabbie gets him there. I don't know how he gets there so fast, but he's up on the roof and like Brain is up there with Maggie and they're in a shootout with some guys. And they got the president.
Well, Brain was about to leave with the president. They were going to leave.
Brain was bragging about he can fly a glider too. Yeah. There's like a full-on shootout going on up there, and the guys that they're shooting it out with, we don't even really know who they are.
Seems like it's just some crazies.
They chop the cable or whatever, and the glider falls off the roof and crashes, and they're like, shit.
Yeah.
That
was how we got out of here.
And then Brain is like, well, look, I got the diagram. We can try to make it across the bridge, right? So this is when they run down. The Duke is there with his whole army, and it's like, oh, they're trapped.
Well, they what do they do? They open up like a car. Like they try to jump into a car. Like
the car won't start.
The car's just like sitting in the middle of like the.
I think that was Brain's car.
Maybe. Yeah.
So the car won't start though, and then they're like, they pop the hood and there's a guy in there.
So what are they saying? Like
they took the whole engine out.
Yeah, I was going to say they're time that Brain stopped, parked his car, ran upstairs, and like tried to get in the glider into the time.
There's no like winch or anything. They just got the whole engine out. And like thought, you know what would be really cool is if we hit a guy in here. Because that'll get him.
There's no other way that we can surprise
Let's
them.
not just shoot them when they come out. Let's like surprise them. Let's punk them.
But then, so Brain, so they're all like, "Oh, now we're trapped, captured again." But I think what Maggie or Snake?
Snake shoots the steam pipe.
Yeah, so they're just like all kind of like confused, like
blows like hot steam, I guess, in the Duke's face.
Yeah, we can't run past the steam.
Yeah, it was very like that was just once again, it's like when you're working on a budget, I guess. Anyway,
it's funny how stuff doesn't make any sense when you like really
think about it. It's all very like, oh, that was convenient.
Yeah.
The most convenient moment of the whole movie happens right now, where they run out of the building. At that moment, Cabby pulls up.
So the Cabby
why
again?
What was he? Why was he just cruising the block?
I have no idea.
There was no reason for him to be there at that moment.
I don't feel like he was with Brain or Maggie.
Nah, it was just a full coincidence.
And again, he pulled up like he was expecting to pick him up, not like he just kind of saw them in a river.
You said it was that like the Deus Ex Machina, like in the movie.
Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, it's just like
conveniently always there.
The hand of God comes in, and we're gonna get these guys out of this thing because there was no reason whatsoever for him to be there.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like frustrating.
And even more like then we start really piling the coincidences on because they hop in and he's like, okay, we got to get the tape. And the Cabby is like, oh, this tape?
Oh, this tape that I have?
And he's like, I traded my hat for it.
I mean, it's almost like a television episode. You know how like everything just
we got to wrap it up at the final act.
In like 30 minutes. It's like, darn it, we need that tape. Oh, wait a minute, I have the tape. Oh, you traded it with that guy for that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, now that problem solved also.
So they haul ass and they come to the bridge and they're like driving across and you got Brain is there giving directions like go left, go right, like swerving from one lane to the other to avoid the mines.
Yeah.
But apparently his map is not all that because they drive over a mine that like blows up and perfectly splits the car in half.
Perfectly severs the car in twain.
Like where the front seat is in one half and the back seat is in the other, and everyone seems like everyone in the back seat's fine.
Yeah.
Cabby is killed.
Like where did that bomb even go off? Like did it go like off right underneath?
I know that it split like a straight line.
It's the weirdest. Like you're right. When you're making a movie for $6 million, you don't have the luxury of like actually blowing up a car. This
is one of these mines that blows it in half without killing 4 out of the 5 people inside of it.
There's like no smoke damage on the back of the car, the seat.
They just take their seat belts out and step out.
But of course, Cabby, who wasn't even driving the car, who wasn't. He
wasn't, was he?
He was in the passenger.
He got bumped over.
He is the one that dies in this thing. But
so Snake grabs the tape, right, and he hops out, and then the Duke is chasing them in his car with the chandeliers and all that.
Probably a good, let's say, 5 minutes behind him.
Yeah. So the guys they're running down the bridge. Brain is still trying to give them instructions like, no, go left, and they all go to the right, and like Brain goes to the left, and he gets blown up.
Yeah, that's weird. How that? So is it Brain just doesn't know? Like I don't.
I guess his map was wrong.
Yeah.
It never made sense how he got that map. He's like, I got it from a guy who got killed.
Yeah.
He almost made it out and he got killed. It's like, well, how did the map get back to you?
Yeah. Like, did you go to the end of the thing and pick up the map, or did the guy diagram the map and just left it, and then he tried? He's like, well, okay, I'm gonna make this map, and then I'm gonna drive without it,
and then I'm gonna go back and give it to Brain, and then go back. I don't know.
Or maybe to duplicate. They never really explain it, but
Maggie is like heartbroken.
Yeah, she is.
Over
this
this
is,
thing.
I think, this is where you really see that she loves Brain, because at other points, like she's like, well, she's just defending Brain because of whatever. But this is where it's shown that she really truly loves Brain, because she could have been like, sorry that you died, Brain, but I'm gonna continue to lead with these people. But she decides to stay behind, and
she's got that hand cannon, that big gun, and as the Duke's car is coming, she starts like taking shots at it. She's hiding behind another car.
And it's really important because, like, you can see the Duke coming. Like, it's not like he surprises her. So she can see him, like, off in the distance coming. And she just doesn't even move. Like, so she almost, like, commits suicide. She could have easily dodged the Duke. She could have run out the way or run somewhere else.
I think she shoots out his windshield, right? And he sort of ducks, and then his car plows into the car that she's hiding behind, and she gets killed.
Yeah.
or smashed, whatever. And then this is as the president and Snake are like making it to the wall at the end of the bridge, and Lee Van Cleef is like seeing all this over the cameras or whatever. So he's got his guys there, and they lower a winch down. The president hops in, and they hoist him up to the top of the wall.
So yeah, now the president, he's
safe,
he's
right?
safe. He's escaped. Yeah.
And then they're lowering the winch back down, and the Duke. I feel like in my mind we were like about to get a big fight between the Duke and Snake, but we don't really get that. Right?
You kind of get
They fight a little bit.
They fight a little bit. It's not like an epic battle.
I think Snake gives him a punch in the face, and then he runs to the winch and hops in, and they start raising him, but then he stops. Like we see a mysterious hand stop the winch, and he's like just sitting there, and Duke's got his gun, and maybe he's about to shoot Snake as he's just hanging there defenseless.
He's kind of recouped or regathered himself.
Yeah.
And he's about to shoot the...
But then Duke gets shot.
Like, not just shot, but like blown to pieces. And it's by the
president.
very angry president who's like taking all his frustration out of being tortured and made to look silly and everything
He's screaming at him. He's like, "You're the Duke. You're a number one."
Yeah,
he's crazy.
Honestly, it's one of the more powerful scenes in the film because like you can just see the anger and the seething.
That's when Donald Pleasance, like, you recognize, oh, this is a real actor.
Yeah, like he's just so like you can see that. Like they don't really.
He was also crazy. Like he had snapped.
You think that's what it is? I think
it had snapped, and
I think they had just tortured him so much that we don't see it, but it's shown because it's like shown the aftermath. Like that whole gun scene would have like psychologically freaked me out. Where they're shooting guns at him, and it's like just popping off bullets like around his head and everything like that. And then the whole part where they had the wig on him, boy, there's no telling what they did to him.
You can only
guess what happened to him with the wig on. So, I mean, they did it for a reason. So, yeah, he's just taking all his frustration. And also, he's the president. So, he, like you said earlier, he's not used to being in this position. He's used to being a man of power. And so, it's interesting to see how even the president could break down in this
Well, the prison turned him crazy, too, I guess, right? Also, we discussed as we were watching, like, what did the Duke think was going to happen if he got in the winch and got up to the top of the wall? Like, they were going to let him go?
I don't know if the Duke...
I don't know if he had a plan.
I don't know if he was... Yeah, I don't know if he had a plan to escape. I think he just wanted to kill those guys.
It's like to breathe some fresh air, that sort of thing.
He didn't necessarily want to escape, but he didn't want them to escape also.
Yeah, I can see that. But so the Duke is shot dead, and then the president cranks the winch back on. And they pull Snake up to the top. Yeah. And then they do that switcheroo, right? When they're lowering Snake down on the other side.
Yeah.
Like,
we're guessing. I
think so. They're lowering a guy down who you can't really see his face.
And then he drops.
And then he drops probably 15 feet, maybe.
He drops from a pretty high point. And then he
higher. It's a little dangerous.
Behind
where you can't see him land. And then out from behind the car pops Kurt Russell.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because if it had really been Kurt Russell, they could have just lowered him.
They could have not hidden. They wouldn't have hidden him.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless it's like that thing if there was a mattress or whatever there, like a cushion.
It's kind of weird though. I feel like Kurt Russell, like, I don't want to say he's like Tom Cruise, but I feel like Tom Cruise would have been like, just drop me, I'll
do
jump.
it. Yeah.
But so, again, this was made in 1981,
so Snake runs up and they got the doctor there, and he's like, quick, disarm the charges in my neck. And then Van Cleef is like, give us the tape first.
Is there a good guy in this movie? Like, who? It's Snake.
I guess Snake. He's an anti-hero.
Yeah. Is he? Like, what makes him an anti-hero?
Well,
because
he's like got the attitude. He's like a bank robber. I mean, he's not a.
I bet you he was robbing the bank for a good reason. Like
you think?
Like a Robin Hood. Like he wasn't robbing it just to like line his pockets. He was probably robbing it to make sure that.
He's got that attitude though. He's got like that Han Solo like whatever attitude. The like I'm a scoundrel.
Yeah.
So he hands him the tape, and then they disarm the charges, and Snake looks at his little watch, right? And it's like 2 seconds or something. It's like so close.
Seconds, yeah.
So close.
I think Snake asked the president, like, hey, there's a bunch of people that died trying to get your butt out of there. Like, what do you got to say?
What do you say to that?
And I think it's kind of cool because the president's like getting shaved and he's getting makeup.
They're putting makeup on him
and everything like that. So he's being dolled up basically.
Yeah, getting ready for the camera.
And he's like, oh, well, all those people's sacrifice.
I thank them for their sacrifice.
Yeah, I thank them for the sacrifice, but I'm more important than them, basically.
Yeah. The president wasn't an evil guy, I don't think.
He wasn't initially. I think that he turned evil when he stopped. Like, because they didn't have to have him pause the winch, right? He could have just let that. Because
Yeah, Snake. I don't even know if Duke had. I guess he had a gun.
Well, the Duke was going to fire at him regardless of because he's basically using him as bait, right?
Exactly.
So, but the Duke still would have fired at Snake regardless if that winch had stopped or not. So that's when they kind of made that switch of him being a bad guy, which I don't know why they did that. Mm-hmm. Again, I think it was another political statement by John Carpenter, like government's bad, anti-hero's good, you know?
Yeah. So then you got like Van Cleef is asking like Snake, so are you still going to kill me? Because Snake had said before he went on, I'm going to kill you when I get out of here. And then
not only does he say that, but he also offers him a job.
He's like, I'm too tired to kill you. And he's like, but hey, we make a great team. Yeah. Like, let me give you a job.
I know I almost tried to like blow your head off.
He's like, come on, Snake, come to work for me. And he's like, the name's Pliskin, which is definitely a callback, right? To he kept telling him earlier, call me Snake.
Yeah.
It was like, no, we're not friends, I guess.
Like, what's the point? Like,
that's what I get from that is like, I think he tells his friendly type people, like, call me Snake.
Okay, so but is he saying that at the very beginning of the movie that they were friendly?
That's why it doesn't make a lot of sense.
It's like, yeah.
But I think it's definitely a throwback to that, though, right?
No,
or a callback.
It absolutely is. But it's like, I guess he's farthering himself away from like Van Cleef and everything by saying, I'm Mr. Pliskin to you. So
the president's going to do like a live satellite shot or whatever from the island because they weren't going to have time to get him to the summit. But he's like, so they put him on camera and he's like touting this message of like, I bring you world peace, you know? Mm-hmm. And then we see a hand pop the tape in the tape deck and press play and it starts playing Cabby's big band music.
Yeah. And then they show the scene where Snake is walking away and he's got the tape, the real tape.
He's unspooling it. He's like ripping the tape out.
Apart, yeah.
It's like, so basically Snake is wrecking a chance at world peace for out of spite. Or he's like, go to garage.
He has all the reason in the world to be spiteful. But
you're living on this world too.
But there's a level that you don't need to like. You didn't need to have the rest of the world die because you're pissed off at the president.
There is no way they didn't already wouldn't they have had to cue the tape up to the right moment, or like there's no way they didn't check the tape before that moment.
I feel like that they had just rescued the president. They had just
well, they were putting the makeup and shaving him. Like they could have popped the tape in to check it.
There could have been somebody, but there was such a scramble mode at that point that I could see where that was.
I had fully forgotten about that ending, and it just makes it where you're like, much like I don't know if you saw the latest Jurassic Park. There's like a character that basically fucks the world over at the end of the newest Jurassic Park, and it's like, we get why you're doing that.
Over like a personal vendetta?
Yeah, but how many people are going to die because of this, like, who had no part in wronging you?
Again, there are no good people in this movie.
No.
Like, I mean, if you were to say that Snake was the hero, he totally takes that away when he does what he does.
Yeah.
It doesn't come off like the rest of the world is about to die because of what you're doing, but that is the implication.
And plus, if you're Snake, aren't they going to grab you and lock you up again now because you didn't? Like you purposefully screwed the thing up?
He wasn't like running away. He wasn't like,
he's walking away. They're going to catch him if they want to.
Casually strolling.
I mean, he's on Liberty Island, so he doesn't really have anywhere to go.
Yeah,
he needs them to take him off.
Does he show up at the boat on the other end?
He's going to swim.
I'm ready to leave now. Wait a minute, asshole.
You're going back in. I guess that's where I don't know what the plot of Escape from L.A. is, but apparently he's still a criminal.
Oh, really?
No. Apparently. I don't know. But maybe that's why they never let him go. I don't know. But it is a fun movie.
Yeah, it's a great
it started a great partnership between Kurt Russell and Carpenter, who I think brought out the best in each other.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It made a ton of money. Mm-hmm. I think it made more money than the sequel made, even though the sequel cost 10 times as much.
I think it was made for $6 million. I think it made like $25 million.
Yeah, I think it did more. I think it did more business than the sequel.
Yeah,
so which cost the sequel lost money.
Yeah, and the fact that we're still talking about it today,
it's a legendary movie. The character's legendary.
Yeah.
I want to see more people at conventions dressed like Snake because that's a cool character with a cool look.
I guarantee there's not like, you go to like Dragon Con, for instance, and you see like a bunch of people dressed up as stormtroopers. There's not a bunch of people dressed up as Snake, but there's always one.
There's got to be one.
There's always one.
Anyway, I think that puts a pin on this one, and we will take our leave and be back again next time to talk about
We'll talk to you later.
Something else. Bye.
Bye.